You see them? I got 8 bricks here, and I actually have 8 are gonna go right here, so I'm gonna make this a patio. He's down there, it's a melee, you know, a whole bunch of soldiers sticking together, everybody fighting, and he grabs this guy and he turns around and he's gonna punch right in the face, and it's his dad. Yeah.
We're starting here, starting right now. 1, 2, 3. We breathe it in. We feel our hearts, they're pounding, rising up to feel the fire that's wild through our veins. We take a chance and know we'll never be the same. Giving it all we got, giving it all. It all we got. Oh, climbing up to the top of the world. No fear, we're gonna make it. Everything we want is ours. Whoa.
Hey guys, how you doing? Craig here with my life and my Thai farm. And oh my gosh, the sun is out today. And I've already done my work for today. I'm not gonna do any more, although you watch, come 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something, there'll be something else for me to do. And yeah, what did I do today? Well, I know that I went to the hardware up here guy. Builder supply is what it really is, and I bought some bricks, and there is a goddamn bird over there. So I don't know if you can see this, but that bird on the other side of the lake, or the other side of the pond, he'll take off right in a minute. Watch. Yeah, those big old long-necked birds been cruising around the pond because we put those 5,000 little fish in here. My wife has been very actively scooping up the green flowers, putting in another pond for the fish to eat, and it's leaving these transparent gaps. You know, before it was all covered in green, you couldn't see, right? The fish can hide underneath there, but now with these open areas, the fish might come up and start checking out. And those birds, man, they'll just wait there, and then boom, they see them, pink, 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 and they can pick them off right and left. We don't want that. I don't want them to be eaten. Although they have been eaten, but I've been chasing them out all morning when I was working out here. So when I went to the hardware store over there, Builder Supply, I bought bricks because if y'all remember, not this net here, but this little brick patio slab, I should say, if you watched other videos, I'm leaving this net out like this so it'll dry. Anyway, this slab I made right here, all I really did was put the bricks down. This is a dry pour slab, I guess you call it, right? I put the bricks down, I mixed just sand and cement, and then I just dumped it on top of here, and I kind of used a trowel to fill it in, fill all the cracks in between the bricks. I didn't put them right up against each other, I separated them, and then I filled it all in, and then I just sprayed it lightly, the top of it with water, and let it kind of firm up, because if I just tried to soak it, it would like wash away. It would, you know, it would be all uneven. So really just spray the top of it like that, let it get a little crispy in about 20 minutes or so, and then come back, and then I can put a lot of water on there so it all mixes in with that sand and cement, and it fills in, and it actually came out you know, pretty good. And I let it sit and went through a few of the big old heavy rains and all this, and it's a pretty little decent deck. So what I decided to do was out here in my little Krabby Shack project, one of my other projects, as you may know if you've watched this channel. I am laying brick here. Boom. So more brick for another patio, and I'm just going to do like this, just kind of like I did with the other one. It's a little bit uneven now. I will make it a little bit even, you know, underneath there. Won't terribly worry about it too terribly much about being uneven, because when I fill in the sand and the cement all in here, you know, I'll even it out at that time. I'll be able to get it all in place, and then, you know, use my trowel, my longer trowel, and go ahead and sweep it and make it all level, and then do the same thing, spray the water. Although, yeah, I'm up here. Before I left, I was like, oh yeah, I can get the bricks for that, and do the math there. So I counted, like, oh, I got 8 bricks here, and then I actually have 8 bricks there. So that's like 8 times 8 is 64. And so, you know, I got 64 bricks here. But no, because a brick, when you go the other way, it's only half. So that's 8, right? So I'm about 40 bricks short. I knew I should have wrote that down. But anyway, that was actually enough, because I mean, not enough to do this whole square. I want to do the whole square, but it was enough because I'd already kicked my ass. I had to, you know, I helped the guy out over there at the builder supply and loaded up my truck with not only these bricks, but actually I have another 40 bricks over there that I'm going to do another patio on that. I'll show you in a minute. Although now I'm thinking I could take those bricks from there and put it here, and then this one would be totally ready. But anyway, so I got to go back and buy 40 more bricks, or 42 more bricks to lay the rest of that. And then I got to buy probably a, you know, I don't know, maybe a full cubic meter of sand, and another, I have 1 bag of cement, but I'll probably have to buy 2 more bags of cement. And I figured, you know, this is way cheaper. I mean, I don't need it to be like this permanent, or it is kind of permanent, but I don't need it to be this beautiful hard polished deck and all that. This is, you know, this is the Monoc, you know, this is a little country farm kind of, you know, that deck over there, that's fine, that's perfect, man. Even though I use coarse sand and I didn't finish the top of it, so to speak, it's coarse, it's a little bit gritty when you try and walk on it if you're in barefoot, but I can make this one smoother. I throw, you know, maybe a second bag could be, or second load could be of fine cement or fine sand instead of, you know, instead of coarse sand. But that whole deck there will be fine. That thing, once that thing's hard, it's like I poured a concrete slab. No difference. Put tables out here and this and that, it ain't gonna bust up. That one's not busted up yet. I've done all kinds of crap with that one. Even if I did get a crack in it, so what? It's actually, and the reason I'm doing it like that, of course, is because I don't want to mix cement, man. I mean, as it is, I'm gonna have to mix in the cement into the cement powder into the sand, which fair enough would be easier enough. But if I was making concrete, where I pour a slab with concrete, laying down the metal, getting the rocks, you know, I'd have to cart all the rocks and everything over, because I'm going to get the sand and stuff dumped, you know, way over there by the front of my house. They can't come back here, so I'm gonna have to bucket the sand or wheelbarrow the sand back here anyway. But you know, so that's, what was that? I said 64 plus, so let's say 100 bricks, and they're 5.5 baht each. So 500 baht, 550 baht for all the bricks to cover the whole floor, and the cement is 120 baht a bag. So if I bought 3 bags, it'd be 360 baht. And the sand is like 240, I think, for a cubic meter. So 360, 240, that's 600, and then 550, so 11, less than 1200 baht. I got a whole deck right there. You can't beat that price, man. You can't beat it. You see what I mean about the how the water starts to break up. My wife feeds those little fish in the morning, so they're all pretty active in the morning. And one of the things I saw when I was sitting over here, if you watched the previous video, I had chopped down all these trees. I cleared them out so that when I'm sitting over there, I got this room with a view, so to speak. I can see all this beautiful rice fields and everything. And yeah, that video where I showed that, and I cut that one, but maybe 3 weeks ago or something, I'm sure. And now you can see that tree right there, that thing is already growing up, man. There's already bushes. Those two little trees are already starting to grow. That one, I chopped this thing down. Look at that. I'm telling you, this was right there. Now it's already, you could actually eat this, by the way. This vine and this tree, this is kind of more like a tree bush, but there was nothing there. It was nothing, and now it's like a huge, I should have put a time lapse on that thing. I could have seen it just grow. And so now when I was sitting over there this morning, taking a break from hoiking all the bricks, I was like, what is that? What's that green over there? Sure enough, it's already growing. So I'm gonna either have to cut it again or block my view. And it's a pretty cool view. Maybe I should put I have the bench right there because I always had it to view the pond, you know, to sit and look at the pond that way. But maybe I should put the bench on this side so I can just sit here and look at that, man. Tell you, the rainy season, the season for the rice to grow. Yeah, that just makes you feel better. It makes you feel better. So, and there's plenty of water in the canal. It's turtle time, I'm sure. I keep forgetting to go get that trap, man. I want to get that trap, put it in here. See if I can catch me some stuff. I could set a bird trap, catch them big old birds, but I think that would be illegal. And my wife, she chopped down these papaya not that long ago either. That thing you can see right in there, she chopped it off and then she capped it off plastic, and that forced the outgrow on the sides. So now there's like, what's that, 1, 2, 3, there's like 4 different side branches coming out of there. And she did the same thing over here. If you look, boom, you cap that off right there. And then same thing happened, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 different side branches where each one can produce papaya. So we might have an abundance of papaya. And my other deck is what I'm doing is over here. If y'all remember when I made all this barbecue stuff, excess cement, I just kept dumping it, and I wound up, it was still wet kind of, so I wound up carving it into a set of stairs. But this whole area right here, it had an old tree I cut down, and it's been all kind of a debris field all the time. Well, here's the bricks. That was my first load. Actually, yeah, there's another story. So I first went over there, and I'm gonna go, oh, I need like 130 bricks or whatever. So we put, me and that one guy that was there, we put these 44 bricks in the truck, in the back of the truck. And he goes, hey dude, you got a flat tire. I was like, what? And I hopped out and I looked around the back, and sure enough, I had a flat tire on the truck. Anyway, these bricks are gonna go right here, so I'm gonna make this a patio. It's gonna go off the stairs, so I'll make that whole thing another dry pour patio. Make it simple, it'll be easier, you know, for my wife to set stuff down there. Right now they got buckets for the charcoal and all that stuff. And yeah, So I got two deck projects going on right now. And when that guy, I have the tire patch kit in my shop, you know, where you can, if you find the nail or whatever, providing it's not a sidewall, find the nail, you can go ahead and punch it through, pull it through. If y'all ever fix a flat for you, know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, this tire here, totally flat. And then I found, actually it's right in there, you can maybe see it. I found the screw. It was a screw that had punctured it. Now, I'm not saying it was my screw, but you know, I did pull into the shop yard over there, but I think they tend to have more nails than they do screws probably laying around. So I you know, I was like, shit. So I decided, well, I didn't want to take the batteries or take the bricks out of the truck. I didn't want to offload them and stuff, and it was, you know, it was pretty much flat, like totally flat. But I figured, well, I can drive home with it. So I just bought 44 bricks that were in the truck, and I started driving home. And then I figured I'd fix it here because I got my compressor and the fix it kit. I probably could have done it, but right here over there is a motorcycle guy that, you know, he fixes motorcycles. He fixes flats and stuff. He's got a sign that actually says, I fix flats, you know. So I figured, you know, I'll give him some business, and I just pulled in there. I was like, bro. So, you know, he went at it, took the screw out, unscrewed it basically, and then, you know, he used his, it was really a motorcycle tire repair, you know, but it was challenging him. He couldn't use enough pressure to push that, you know, when it's a piece of rubber, piece of sticky rubber that you have to kind of sandwich into the hole, right? And he was having a bear of a time to get that thing in there. You know, a young kid, I didn't want to say, here, let me do it, you know. So I just let him work it, and you know, he finally got her done and filled it up. I was out of there. It took him a good 15 minutes probably, for 60 baht, so less than $2. $1.80 or something like that. And but it works, you know. Although something tells me I'm gonna be ready for tires soon. There's him and his wife that run that shop or whatever. She was over there helping him, and she was pointing to my sidewall going, dude, you got all these divots out of your sidewall. What are you doing? I was like, yeah, you know, four-wheel drive, you know. But I can see, when I got home, I took a better look at them, and my tires are, you know, they still got tread on them, but I'm gonna probably wind up buying new tires here pretty soon. And instead of 4, those are Bridgestone. A set of 4 good tires is gonna set you back probably 8,000 baht, if not 10,000. And what else was I gonna say about that? I forgot. But yeah, I'm tired. It exhausted me. So the first load, I came back after fixing that flat tire. I offloaded those 44 bricks over there. Then I went back there right away and loaded up 86 more, 44, yeah, 86 more bricks into the truck. Drove back here, and then I had to put them on the dolly. I was trying to put 10 bricks on the dolly at 10 at each time, and then walk it backwards, you know, and pretty much drag it through the soft dirt over there all the way to that spot, and then lay them out. And so, you know, that was, what's that, 8-9 trips on the dolly. Whew. Brutal. Kicking my ass. You know, I really want to be done with cement work, but I've wanted to do that spot over here by the outdoor kitchen, and I wanted to do it for the or the Krabby Shack over there since last year even. So, but now I got it done, although I'm disappointed that I fucked up the math and now I gotta get 42 more batteries or bricks. I don't know why I keep saying batteries. Probably because I got batteries on my mind. I did buy, I mentioned last video that I bought the DC motor for my for the paddle wheel project to make an aerator. But I was reading, you know, I thought maybe I could go from my controller, my solar controller, you know, that has the load output, which is a DC load output, that I could hook just that straight to the DC motor. But after reading, I saw that's probably not the best thing, because I mean the controller will, you know, control the amount of volts or whatever that's going out. But what I saw was, I think that now I need something else, so, you know, to prevent the motor from, you know, getting too many volts or whatever. I don't have to be not a voltage regulator or whatever, because the controller controls the, you know, or regulates the amount of voltage going out of there. But instead of hooking it up direct, what I got was the variable speed control switch, like, so I can hook it, I can come out of the DC load side of my controller and hook that to the switch, and then hook the motor to the switch, so I can turn the motor on, and then I can basically throttle it up, right? So I'm giving it more speed or less speed or whatever, and I think that will be what's good. That'll be what kind of controls it better. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I was going to tell you a story. Maybe I can cut out a little excerpt from a story I was going to tell you. But right now, my wife just pulled up. So yeah, she went to Peace and Love today to renew her passport because she forgot it expired, and we're going to be taking a trip. So, but she was able to do it. She paid 500 baht extra and got a 10-year renewal. Now she's going to be able to, they're going to deliver it here in a couple of days. And we ain't leaving for a little bit, so. All right, man, let me get back at you, and I'll see if we can't put a little bit of a story in here for you. Well, as it turns out, it looks like my wife came home bearing gifts. Not so much gifts, but she brought home some fish. Stopped at the fishmonger. Actually, he's not a monger, the fish hatchery guy, not the government one, but the private one, and bought some more fish for this pond. As I've already explained, we put 5,000 Nile tilapia, the black ones, in the pond, and they're probably rapidly, they're only about this big, so they're probably getting picked off by the birds when we're not looking, or when we're not here. But I'm going to be releasing the Kraken. So here what she did was she bought like 100 red tilapia. So we've always had red and black in here, but this is only 100 of them, and they're a little bigger, so they're about that big. And then she bought 300 pladuk, or the catfish, and they're about 3 inches. So let's see if we can take a look. I'm gonna hold this with my knees. These are red tilapia. I could go out in the boat and do it, but no. Take a look. You see them? So they're pretty good size, right? Goldfishes. Be free. Of course, they've never been in a big pool, right? These guys, let's see if we can get a closer look. Yeah. Yeah. Little fish. Yep, we got one in there. There you go. Well, there they go. 300 catfish, another 100 tilapia. I'm trying to keep track. And 5,000 other tilapia, the Nile tilapia. So, yeah, 5,400 fish in that pond. Although, again, we've already taken losses. There's some that died when we first put them in there, and then there's some that are being eaten by predators. There might also very well be, you know, snake. Actually, I know there's a snake in the other pond, but if he's in the other pond, he's in this pond. There goes the lizard. Can't see him, but I think I saw a lizard over here. Oh yeah, man. Maybe my cat's got it, or maybe he's half alive still. Look at this guy. Are you alive, bro? No, he's hard. He's hard. But he don't look bit. Oh, he got one bite right there on the side. Although that doesn't have to be a bite. He's got some here. Sorry, bro. Maybe I should put him in the pond. Let's fish eat him. Fish bait. Nature, man. That's what happens. He might not even. I thought, well, I suppose the cats could have got him. Cats won't eat that kind of lizard, but they could have very well dispatched him. But they don't usually do that. They don't usually kill something and leave it laying right there or something. They'll either bring it to me or they won't do it or something. So it might have been something else. Might have been a bird, actually. Could have been grabbed by a bird and been flying and he dropped it, and then boom, landed right there. They'll do that. All right, man. Well, hey, another little slice of life here on the Thai farm. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm gonna sit here and enjoy my fountain and my fan. All right, man. Thanks for watching. Keep watching for more action here on the Thai farm. Back at you. No, really. This kid that I knew, he if there was anybody that was destined to be like an enemy of the state of the United States, it could have been this kid, because, you know, both his father and his father's father or his grandfather, they all had issues with the U.S. military, and rightly so. His grandfather was actually a scout for the U.S. military when they conquered the Mariana Islands. They kicked out the Japanese because the Japanese had been living there, right, and they had already taken over the island. And but they integrated more because, you know, they started a big sugarcane factory and, you know, shipping everything to Japan and all that stuff. But they integrated. They married some of the Chamorro people. They had kids with some of them, you know, and this and that. But in the, you know, in the Japanese mindset, it was still, you know, they were still the conqueror or whatever. So when the U.S. military came, you know, you had to take sides, right? And so, and the Japanese were like, well, you know, we can't trust the local people that much either. So, you know, go, you know, very dynamic, fluid kind of environment that was not good for anybody. But this kid's grandfather winds up being a scout, helping, because he spoke a little Japanese. He winds up helping the U.S. military, you know, going in the jungle and yelling Japanese shit or whatever, and doing all this, and did a lot of good work. And he had a crew of guys that were a really good team with his, you know, good friends of his or whatever. But then when the island was finally conquered and they started to collect everybody, of course they collected all the local people because they had been integrated, you know, at some levels. And so they took all the local people and stuck them in an internment camp downtown, you know, in one of the major little cities, villages, right? And so, you know, and then the grandpa's like, whoa, wait a minute, dude. I mean, you know, well, I just freaking helped you. Why am I over here, you know? And they're like, oh, the guys that hung out with them are, you know, they get right away reassigned because they're maybe the force that lands, and they get reassigned somewhere else. So there's new people. Then it's like, we don't know you, and, you know, piss off. So the grandpa's already started going, that is bullshit. I risked my life. I did all kinds of stuff that is messed up. And so, but, you know, they eventually let him out, and it gets beyond that. He meets a nice girl. He gets married. And, you know, he really in love with this girl. They have a kid, which is this kid's dad. And, but then she gets sick. She gets like pneumonia, I think it is, pneumonia or something like that. And the U.S. military hospital that's still there doesn't really want to treat her. I mean, he's going there going, dude, you gotta help my wife. She's sick, you know, and I helped you, you know, and they're like, oh, we have soldiers here, we have to take priority, you know, and so they don't want to treat her. They don't prioritize treating her. They're like, well, you're gonna have to wait. And of course she winds up dying. So because she dies, now he's just, oh my God, you know, this is the only thing he had going, really. You know, now he's got a kid, he's alone, he's, you know, the love of his life is gone, and to him, it's their fault. You know, not only did he already feel like, you know, you guys are not treating me nice, but now you basically killed my wife. And so he was just beyond himself. And he would just start drinking, but he'd go down to where the ships come in, and he'd go down there and hit the bars and purposely get in fights and beat the crap out of every little soldier he could find. And he just did that. He'd bring his kid with him. His kid would watch him do that shit. And he would like never lose a fight either. He would just had so much, you know, vent up or whatever. And then the kid grows up. The kid winds up getting fights in school and this and that. And when the kid got older, he winds up going down there, and he's down there drinking and beating the crap out of soldiers too, because that's what his dad did. And matter of fact, there's actually one story where the guy, he's down there, it's a melee, you know, a whole bunch of soldiers sticking together, everybody fighting, and he grabs this guy and he turns around and he's going to punch him right in the face, and it's his dad. Yeah, so his dad's out there fighting and he's out there fighting, and they almost fight each other. But then he just kind of, because they don't really talk a whole lot anyway, and they push away each other and continue fighting. But it was just insane. And then so the son winds up actually, you know, meeting a girl, even though he never really knew his mom, because, you know, she died early. He was only like 5, whatever, 6 maybe. And so he meets a girl. She's really nice. She actually does some work for the U.S. military. So you know, she's trying to tell him, dude, you know, these people can help us. You know, quit kicking their ass. You know, don't go down there. Don't go down there. And he's like, so he slows down a little bit, but he still gets drunk, goes down there and kicks some ass. And they, you know, they're happy enough. Within the first year or something like that, they wind up having a kid, and that's this kid. And of course he knows his grandpa, and his grandpa, you know, still fights and still pissed off at the military. But then I think he was about 8 years old or something, and grandpa there had a stroke. So he had a stroke. It messed him up. He was, you know, basically sitting on the porch after that. He couldn't really go down and kick some ass, and so he's just a sad guy, you know. And this guy would still, his dad would still drink and stuff. And so and what happens there is that, like I say, when the kid's about, yeah, it's actually, I think the same year his grandpa had the stroke. His mom, so his dad's at home drinking. The mom, a military jeep comes and picks up the mom to, you know, take her to the job that she's working for. And another sailor coming the other way, drunk driving, slams into the jeep, pitches it over. She gets killed. So now his mom is killed. His grandfather's wife was also, you know, killed, according, you know, because she didn't get treatment. So he gets killed. You know, they come and get him and the jeep and, you know, the dad, and he runs down there and he's like, no, so he starts kicking everybody's ass down there, you know, that's trying to help him or whatever. And you know, of course they're real sorry and stuff. And he wants the soldier to, you know, the sailor that killed her to just burn in hell, and he wants to see justice and all that. And of course, you know, in the typical military fashion, they throw the guy in the brig or whatever, and then they take him and ship him back to mainland America. So the guy doesn't actually get to see the justice, even though he might have gotten justice back there. I'm sure it was not the justice that the guy thought. So now, and this kid is old enough, the 8-year-old or whatever, 9 years old, he's old enough to witness all that and know what's going on. He's all, this is bullshit. So now the kid has got the whole thing about, you know, am I going to grow up and get drunk and go kick some soldiers' ass? And so that's what I was saying, was that he, you know, he just had this kind of built-in imprinting of the military was not good. Although the military, you know, fair enough, they did a ton of stuff, you know, built infrastructure and gave great opportunities to people and stuff. But in this particular story, this guy, no, the grandpa got screwed. And it was actually about 40-50 years later, I don't know if I just said that, but about 40-50 years later, you know, the military, yeah, had come back and said, oh, dude, hey, thanks a lot, you know. It was just bullshit. But the grandpa did have stories. The kid liked to go and listen to the grandpa's stories about, you know, him when he would go into the jungles and stuff like that. So that's what made this kid kind of have he had an affinity towards going into the jungle. Actually, as a young kid, one of his things, I mean, he wasn't too young to go beat some ass or whatever down there, and when the soldiers would come, but what he would do is, he'd go through the jungles, the trails. His grandpa told him where to go, and, you know, showed him on. He had a book, like a journal or whatever the grandpa did. So he'd go through all that stuff, and he'd find stuff, you know, old bullets or whatever, or, you know, an old Japanese helmet or this or that. And he would take that stuff and go down to the docks. And when the military guys would come off the boat or whatever, he'd sell them these artifacts. He's like, yeah, you know, this bullet went through the Japanese head or whatever, you know. He'd tell stories about this stuff so he could jack up the price, and he felt like, oh, you know, I'm ripping these guys off, and good for me, you know. And then and he'd come back home, and, you know, he'd give money to his dad. He'd say, no, dude, I sold that canteen for like $25. And the dad would be like, good, yeah, good job, you know. But the dad was still drinking. He was still just, you know, he never married again. He was just sad. He still had his kid to take care of. But then as the kid got older, you know, again, he'd have problems in high school and all that, and ultimately, you know, that's what, you know, his whole makeup kind of led to all the crap that happened after that. I mean, no one could have predicted what was going to happen to this kid. And I mean, you saw the kind of, you know, the trend going that way, but you could not even imagine what happens when this kid discovers this other shit that he runs into. And it's just an amazing predicament that this kid gets in, and how he gets out of it is just incredible. And, you know, and that's a whole other story, but it really starts where he winds up